Welcome to Weekly Digest, where the works of ministers of government are highlighted as they push the administration's development agenda. The Agriculture Ministry is working to change the perception of Linden Region 10 from being just a mining community to an agriculture destination. These remarks were made by Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa during community meetings held in Region 10. Regions 6 and 10 have been earmarked for the development of the new industry, and the minister assured small-scale farmers in Linden that they will be given priority. Insert.
We already decided, we are already looking at it, that we will not give large-scale farmers to take hundreds and thousands of acres. We will look at the small holding farmers to give them 1 and 2 acres so that we can get a number of persons involved in this lucrative crop.
The Agriculture Ministry is currently in the process of establishing the Guyana Industrial Hemp Regulatory Authority. This regulatory authority, once established, will be accepting applications for licenses to cultivate industrial hemp.
We are now in the process of setting up the regulatory authority. When that comes into being, you, the small farmers, will have the kind of benefit to start plant 1 acre, 2 acre of hemp. That is a very lucrative crop.
Minister Mustafa urged farmers to work collaboratively to make Region 10 an important player in the agriculture sector. This forms part of the government's commitment to advance the diversification of the agriculture sector. Residents and farmers from several villages on the Quarantine Coast, Region 6, East Berbice Quarantine, will soon benefit from improved drainage in both the residential and farming communities. On Wednesday, Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa traveled to the region to meet with residents of Wim, Lancaster, Letterkenny, Alness, and Bloomfield, among other villages, to discuss some of the upcoming works aimed at minimizing flooding in the villages. Some $42 million will be expended to complete the drainage works in the residential area, while an additional $35 million will be expended to clear drainage canals and rehabilitate dams within the farming areas.
I have looked at what we have at NDIA, and within 2 months, and before the year is out, we'll have a pump dedicated to Wim, fixed pump that will use at Wim village here to drain the water out of Wim. So that will be to the benefit of this of Wim. So I will make that available, and Mr. Lionel, who is in charge of NDIA, he will ensure that that pump is there. Now, also in the community, when you go around the villages of Wim, Auckline, Letterkenny, and Bloomfield, almost all the internal drain is blocked with bush. And sometimes some people are cleaning their drain and some are not cleaning it. So what I have decided at our level, although it doesn't fall within the purview of the Ministry of Agriculture, but we have looked at it and we decided that we'll desilt all the drains. So all the internal drains in Wim Bloomfield will be desilted.
Single-parent households from the Alness, Wim, and Bloomfield areas will each receive 25 black giant chicks to assist with poultry rearing activities in the area. Farmers will also soon benefit from improved extension services. The Public Works Ministry's National Enhancement Committee organized and executed the 3rd phase of the National Cleanup Exercise on Saturday.
We have to keep it clean. It's a responsibility of every Guyanese. And I want to emphasize, every Guyanese, young, old, rich, poor, whether you live in the city or out of the city, it's a responsibility of every Guyanese to make sure Guyana is clean.
27 families from a squatting community in Charity Region 2 on Saturday last received land titles to the Housing and Water Ministry's Dream Realize program. The allocation is in keeping with President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali's commitment to have the area regularized. 60 land titles have been processed and 33 additional residents received their titles later in the week. Minister within the Housing and Water Ministry, Susan Rodriguez, reiterated that the PPPC administration remains committed to fostering development throughout Region 2.
Try our best, and with the will and the support of the President, we are able to achieve our targets, and we are getting there. We're getting better, we're getting more efficient, and we will be able, through the Ministry of Housing and Water, to deliver on all of our promises by 2025. So you can be assured of that. And every day you see a demonstration. And the President only this week demonstrated that to you. You see a demonstration of our commitment to the work. Not just coming into communities and speaking and making empty promises, but delivering and actually putting in the work and the hours and the resources to be able to deliver for you. And it is our honor to do so.
The Central Housing and Planning Authority, CHPA, is verifying applicants qualified to benefit from the government's Cement and Steel initiative. Housing and Water Minister Colin Crowell stated that some 4,000 people across Guyana submitted applications for the program to encourage home building, which was unveiled by His Excellency Dr. Irfan Ali back in July. Additionally, Minister Crowell underlined that 575 people have registered to date, and 450 of those applicants are qualified.
So how it works is that they apply. Of course, there's a checklist that must be satisfied in terms of their ownership as well as their approval of their plan, and that's with their estimates. So we're able to quantify if you're falling below the $6 million bracket or between the above $6 million to $25 million. So we have, over the last week, have commenced inspection. So we're doing that as a verification. We have, as to date, have inspected over 101 locations. By then, a week from now, we will have the first set of persons who will receive their voucher that will allow them to proceed and take that to the recognized and approved distributors or persons where they will uplift their steel and cement.
By year end, the government is expected to invest some $700 million in the initiative. The government, through the Education Ministry, will be expending some $260 million to expand East Rambelt and St. Winifred's secondary schools to ensure students are provided with a conducive environment for learning. At Monday's South-turning event, Education Minister Priya Manik-Chan said it took great minds to come up with the best possible solutions to address the need for more classrooms for secondary school students. The expansion works at the East Rambelt Secondary School are being executed by Delft Construction and General Supplies to the tune of $175 million. It will see the construction of a modern facility that will accommodate 10 classrooms, an administration block, and a separate sanitary block. To this end, Minister Manik-Chan reiterated the government's commitment to attaining universal secondary education.
Support, we will try to bring in universal secondary education. That means that universally, all over the country, children can access a secondary education. And that's not cheap, and it's not easy.
The government, through the Health Ministry, is committed to expanding access to treatment services for diabetes across the country. This was disclosed by Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony during Monday's COVID-19 update. As Guyana joins the rest of the world in observance of World Diabetes Day, Minister Anthony said that the ministry's partnership with Mount Sinai will see expanded access to screening, training, and improved medical services. Additionally, the Health Minister noted that measures are already being put in place to pilot a one-stop diabetes center to enable people access to their treatments in one place.
We are expanding our programs to be able to screen better for some of the complications of diabetes. So the foot clinics, we've had quite a number in the country. We have trained a lot of people, but over the years, some of these clinics were not working as effectively. And so now we are retooling them, we are training, getting more doctors involved in the training, and improving the quality of care that we can give at our foot clinics.
This forms part of the PPPC administration's transformative agenda to facilitate improved access to health services countrywide. As such, the government is strengthening its efforts to foster advancements in mental health. In a demonstration of this commitment, the Health Ministry, in collaboration with Columbia University and the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, on Tuesday launched day one of the second annual Guyana Health and Mental Wellbeing Conference. Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony emphasized the importance of removing the stigma against mental health while highlighting the need to decentralize the response to attain greater reach.
We want to pivot the service so that the places where we're seeing suicide, we must be more responsive in those areas. We can't have a unit operating out of Georgetown when the cases that we're seeing is in the regions. We have to get persons out into the regions. We have to decentralize the response to make sure that we are actually going to the places that are most effective.
He also noted that the ministry is taking an academic approach to combating mental illnesses and promoting mental health, expressing gratitude for the various partnerships that facilitate this approach. The three-day conference invites members of the public and private sector representatives to be a part of the global discussion on the importance of mental health. Several attendees at Tuesday's launch lauded the initiative by the government. In keeping with the government's commitment to delivering quality access to healthcare for all, the Health Ministry will expand the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, NICU, to regional hospitals such as Mabaruma Region 1, Bartica Region 7, and Lethem Region 9. This expansion will help save several premature infants and provide quality care to these children in the hinterland regions. This, Dr. Anthony said, has been a challenge, and monies have already been allocated in the National 2022 budget to offset the expansion of the NICU services to these regions.
So there is a plan for extending these NICU services. We have already set aside the money to purchase the equipment. And once the equipment come in, we are going to put these equipment in the relevant hospitals.
The government allocated $73.2 billion in the 2022 budget in its effort to develop the health sector and deliver quality health care. The Guyana Fire Service on Monday commissioned the Onverwacht Fire Station and extended its emergency medical services program to Region 5. The $28.7 million fire station will assist residents along the west coast of Berbice, from east of the Abari Bridge to Rosignol, Ithaca. Region 5 is also the first region where the EMS has extended its services. It will provide medical care to patients being transported to medical institutions. Speaking at the event, Home Affairs Minister Robeson Ben stated that the extension of the services is significant since the country is on a developmental trajectory.
Ultimately, we would like to see this type of footprint where you have fire service, emergency medical response teams, and also life-saving industrial type response teams in the country, all over the country, because we have to pay attention to the new challenges we have in our development.
Chief Fire Officer Gregory Wickham, Director of the National Emergency Medical Services Dr. Zulfikar Bucks, and Chairman of Region 5 Vichan Ramphal also delivered remarks. The Guyana Police Force is implementing several strategies for the upcoming Christmas season to create a safe environment for citizens. This was announced at the force's Christmas policing presentation held at the Police Officers' Mess, Eve Leary, on Tuesday.
Compliance is very, very important during this season. Responsible behavior is necessary. We're going to do as far as we can do to ensure we remain, in fact, we have to remain professional, at least under my stewardship, and it's only fitting that the public reciprocate and be respectful to the police, because we are going to work 24 hours to ensure that you are safe as a citizenry.
Some of the initiatives being implemented will see police officers being deployed at hotspot areas across the country to mitigate crime and improve traffic flow. Police booths will also be constructed in these areas. Police officers will also be conducting community engagements across the country to share tips on how to protect their valuables during this time. The force will also be collaborating with private stakeholders to achieve this goal. Guyana's capacity to respond to emergencies and save lives has been boosted as the first set of advanced emergency medical technicians, EMTs, graduated following an 8-month training program. The training sessions were facilitated by Dr. Shannon Langston, MD, and Andrea Fletcher of the Vanderbilt University Medical Center. Home Affairs Minister Robeson Ben implored the advanced EMTs to apply the professional culture and discipline they would have gained from the training program.
Not at a stage simply where we come for the salary or the entitlements and all of those things. That's not the first issue. The first issue is to provide good, proper, efficient service to people. And so I want to thank you all for...
Director of the National EMS, Dr. Zulfikar Bus, explained that these EMTs are able to do advanced medical interventions such as administering medication to a diabetic patient, something that was never done before. The EMT said this will assist in the development of the services that are being delivered to the citizens. Local Government and Regional Development Minister Nigel Darmlal Wednesday overlooked the signing of a $619 million contract for the construction of Phase 3 of the Monrepo Market. He also took the time to speak with vendors and residents on the project.
We had indicated to you that we will do additional construction in this market. So today we are here to sign a contract for the extension of this market. Part of it will be a double-decker. So there will be possibilities to house more stallholders in the market itself. As a matter of fact, we're catering for 490 stalls in the market, which will increase the capacity of business along the East Coast.
Minister Darmlal thanked the vendors for their patience as construction continues for the modern market that will increase business along the East Coast. Some 28 persons graduated on Wednesday from the fiber optic installation program. This was a collaborative effort between the Board of Industrial Training through the Ministry of Labor. The ceremony was held at the Ministry of Labor's head office in Georgetown. Delivering remarks at the ceremony, Labor Minister Joseph Hamilton emphasized the importance of being multi-skilled, since the value of having a myriad of skills is integral in light of Guyana's steadfast economic expansion.
A one skill and one talent person will not be able to survive the world before you. 5-10 years. So you have to be multi-skilled and multi-talented to survive the world before you. So if a door is closed, you can walk into another door. We are prepared to support and to help and continue collaboration with the company. That's a given.
Minister Hamilton noted that the government will continue to provide resources to ensure programs like these are offered to develop the country. Government has been delivering on its mandate to develop the skill sets of indigenous peoples through the Ministry of Labor's Board of Industrial Training. By the end of 2022, 314 residents of Region 9 are expected to be trained in 15 different skill sets offered by PPPC. Labour Minister Joseph Hamilton disclosed recently that 45 persons are being trained in Anai, while 114 are being trained in Lethem and its environs.
Those are the statistics that are important for you to note, and the government commitment that all the opportunities that people on the coast they have and they will get, also you will have the same opportunities regardless of where you live.
According to Minister Hamilton, training in the hinterland and riverine communities has been expanded tremendously. PPPC is currently providing training in isolated communities as well, such as Kato and Parmakatoy. Over the last 2 years, 7,500 persons were trained by the Board of Industrial Training. Also, technical officers have been placed in each region. This has brought us to the end of the Weekly Digest. For these and more government-related stories, visit our website at dpi.gov.gy or our social media platforms. Goodbye.